Before you buy your Aston Martin, watch this video. This is my 2015 Aston Martin V12 Vantage S. And the reason why it's so well known is because of its insane exhaust I put on this car. It is a mix between a Lamborghini Murcielago and an SVJ. My name is Zeman, also known as the Persian Stick, and thank you so much for tuning in to yet another video. Alright ladies and gents, so I've been reading a lot of your comments on my Instagram, TikTok, and even my platform on YouTube, and many of you have been asking me what is maintenance like on an Aston Martin V12 Vantage. Let's go ahead and go inside because I have a whole entire list of everything that I did onto the car so you guys can figure out the cost itself just to see if it is worth it for you to buy an Aston Martin or a supercar within this generation as well. So one of the biggest thing about these cars is that it has swan doors. Look at that. It's not fully sideways. It does go up in a slight slant, so that's one thing. Also, for those of you who don't know how I got to this point, I used to have a Camaro ZL1 that many of you known me for when I first started up my channel, Instagram and TikTok platform. Unfortunately, that car has gotten stolen out of South Coast Plaza. Now, within that time frame, I had gotten a C63 507 edition, but unfortunately, it just wasn't, scratching the itch for me in terms of speed, looks, and just the drama factor, because my Camaro was pushing about 1,000 horsepower. So imagine going from a 1,000 horsepower Camaro ZL1 to then a 400 horsepower Mercedes. So that's why I ended up selling it after 6 months, and then I ended up saving a little bit of money to get this car entirely. So I brought this list because there's quite a bit of things that I did want to address and tell you guys what I did on this particular car. Because my car was stolen, it ended up helping my finances tremendously because it showed that I paid a $75,000 car. So that way when I applied for the loan for this thing, then I was able to go ahead and get approved right away. So without any issues. Okay, so the list right here, and you guys are gonna absolutely love this because with oil changes, this ain't cheap as well. The biggest thing is that the oil filter is on the side of the engine, so that's where mainly the labor comes in through, because it takes a little bit of time to finagle that oil filter out of the side of the block of the engine. So for oil changes, it's about $675 per oil change. I did 4 of those in the past year. I changed my oil every 25 or 3,000 miles. I driven my car about 12,000 miles in the past year, so quite a bit. I also did with one of the services with the oil changes here, I did spark plugs, coil packs, change in differential fluid and transmission fluid, all in one go. I did it as sort of like a 30,000 mile service, so I knew that car was gonna need it eventually, and when I took out the spark plugs, it definitely needed it because one of them was actually rusted, even the coil packs itself. But I just wanted to tell you guys what I did to the car first, just kind of keeping it up to date. It still needs a little bit of things, so for example, pulleys and the new serpentine belt, then I just have to stay consistent with my oil changes. Now, in this parts list, I do have a list of upgrades, which I'm sure you guys are dying to know how much it costs me to then put in the Velocity AP power pack and also the lowering springs. That's really the only upgrades I did. So, to go on this list, Velocity AP Power Pack at the time was about $10,000. Now there's a sale going on, so you definitely guys should take advantage of it if you can. So let's just say $10,000 because at the time that's when I bought it. And then labor is about $3,500 to go ahead and put in the Velocity AP Power Pack. What you have to do in this whole time frame is take out the ECUs, ship it over to Velocity AP, and they actually bridge your ECU so that way everything is all good to go, so you have no error codes when you take out the cats or do any modifications with the O2 sensors. Also, lowering springs. That's one of the smallest, I guess, upgrades you could do on this car. It's only about 700 bucks, but the labor to do it was about $2,000 for me. So all in all, at least for the labor aspect, we are at $9,587 just for the labor alone. I know you guys may think that's kind of a lot, but in a span of a year, it's not so bad, especially with the spark plugs and coil packs where you have to do it every, I believe, 9 years or 60,000 miles. But when you do it, you don't have to worry about it for a very long time. Okay, now for the upgrades. If you were to total up the cost of the upgrades itself, then we're at $16,200 for the upgrades alone, including labor, obviously. So with a total in the span of 1 year, I spent $25,787 for the upgrades that I did, the labor, and then the upkeep to make sure this car is in tip-top shape. ready to do the content that you guys all enjoy and love. Now, for any normal person trying to get into an exotic, yes, I know that's probably a lot of money for just anyone. But for me, as a normal working guy, I knew I always wanted an exotic, and I knew the price I had to pay in order to keep something like this. So that's why in between the time frame I sold the C63 and the time frame I was saving up for the Aston Martin, which was about 3 months, I saved as much as I can to then have the money to do the maintenance without a doubt, if I ever needed it, if that makes sense. Now we could get rid of this list, and I could at least tell you guys what I need in terms of just upkeep for the car until the next service and things. But as you guys know, I wanted to show you guys this just so you can get an idea if you were to ever consider this car or any supercar, whether it's a Gallardo, Gen 1 R8, R8 V10, or even a Ferrari F430 or any of these lower end or I guess older Ferraris, then you could go ahead and consider this video at least to know what to expect in terms of cost of maintenance and things like that. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys one of the things that is well known in this car is these struts right here. You can see these struts go out over time, so they end up getting pretty weak. Also, you can see here, if you were to open the door, if I were to bring it probably about halfway, it'll automatically close. Yeah. And if this is your first time seeing it, aesthetically, this is not a normal Aston Martin. This also has the AMR package. What AMR package means is that you get the front splitter that's extended out a little bit further. You get the canards right here. You also get a full carbon fiber side skirt, as you can see here. It's all carbon. And the most controversial topic is my rear wing. Funny enough, this actually, when I first saw it, I didn't really like it so much, but the look grew on me, and honestly, I think it looks very, very unique. The reason why it has this kind of unique slope to it is because it's part of their GT4 program, so this entirely is aerodynamically complying with the body shape of the car itself. So you can see that. One of the biggest things I'd say in terms of keeping this car on the road and just maintenance in general is that once you skip a couple things, this whole thing can even snowball. So that's why it's so important with these cars to just keep up to date with the maintenance, even though it's a little bit expensive, just because, again, with these things, one problem can lead to the next, and then it just all snowballs from there. So that's why it's super, super important, at least for me, and I think, in my opinion, that you should keep your maintenance up to date on this car. All right, ladies and gents, and one final thing I did want to say before we go ahead and sign off here is I just want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for your continued support, whether it's my Instagram, my TikTok, or even here on YouTube. I just want to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you, because all of you have shared your interest and love for my car itself, and you all see the vision that I'm trying to do with this car and bringing this whole entire platform back up. And it's super cool to see each and every one of you guys recognizing me, whether it's car shows, out and about cruising, or anything like that. So I just want to say a massive thank you again. It really feels good, and again, we're all enthusiasts at the end of the day, so it's really cool to just share that experience and how you guys came across my platform and how insane you guys think it sounds. But can we just admire the beauty of this car? So I think that pretty much sums up today's video. I think that's pretty much it in terms of what I wanted to cover. So at least you guys get an idea of what it was like to keep up to date with the maintenance of this car and the upgrades too. Granted, I was sponsored for most of this stuff, so I can't disclose the pricing on that, so I just did normal retail pricing. And just a big shout out to Velocity AP, because they saw my vision before even buying this car. So without them, I literally wouldn't even have this car today. But I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here. Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another video. I apologize if it's a little bit of a short one, but I can't wait for you guys to see the upcoming videos that I have planned. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. It really means a lot to me, being that I'm a small-time YouTuber, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Also, I wanted to show you guys with these older Aston Martins, you get a sapphire key, which is actually not called a key, it's called a emotional control unit, which is so sick. And it goes over here in the center, just like this, to go ahead and start it up. So all you have to do is put your foot on the brake, then you just insert it like so, and then it starts up.